Happy Friday, Eric Bible with the Bible team at Neo Home Loans. Another Friday and another week of volatility in the mortgage interest rate space. From global conflict, and yes, our heart goes out to the amazing people of Israel, to labor strikes on the eastern seaboard, which fortunately appear to be behind us as a tentative deal appears to have been struck yesterday, to the highly anticipated labor report that was released this morning. All has set the stage for more pressure on mortgage rates. As we kick off this Friday, the 30-year fix is sitting at 6.26%, which is, yes, up from last week, 6.21. And it's beginning to feel as if PTSD has sunk in. We look back to the beginning of the year where rates started their descent down and then immediately went back up. So here we have to understand, what's driving this momentum and ultimately what we can see into the future, and more specifically into 2025, and also short term what we can expect through the close of the year. If you've been monitoring my weekly updates, there was a good amount of insight heading into the Fed rate decision. Yes, the Fed cut rates on September 18th. Highly anticipated, very welcome. But I know a lot of our clients and partners were expecting, hey, the Fed was going to cut rates and in turn mortgage rates would fall behind it. And it's almost as if the playbook has played out identically to what we've seen in past. Fed cut rates and mortgage rates rose thereafter. Now, albeit the raise has not been crazy, but still we're moving in the wrong direction. So here we have to understand why and where we see things going from here. So let's first unpack the jobs report. This morning, labor report, highly anticipated Bureau of Labor and Statistics jobs report was released. And as we know, as I've been sharing, the Fed's focus now yes, inflation is still important. Jobs is the center stage and really will be the conduit to where we see future cuts and ultimately where we see rates across the board go from here. And this morning, that was a massive miss. Market was prepared and anticipating 140,000 new jobs created, yet we saw 254,000. And more importantly, unemployment declined from 4.2 to 4.1, which has ignited some more pressure on mortgage interest rates. So here, looking at that information, the data there, and knowing that the Fed's real center focus is around participation, the labor force, the strength of the labor market, it is expected that more pressure, worse rates will come from this. Now, I do believe this to be short term. As we saw over the summer, there were a massive amount of revisions to previous reports. And where, yes, the bond market right now, which ultimately control mortgage rates, does not like this print, meaning it does not like the significant miss in the data. The deterioration in the mortgage market is not as catastrophic as one would expect for the size of miss. So what that tells me is, knowing the revisions that have taken place, how the data is funneled to the BLS, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, we expect to see some revisions. And ultimately, I do firmly believe as the election concludes, we will see the true understanding of what this data entails. So yes, short term mortgage interest rates are not moving in the direction that we want. But I do believe as we enter into the close of 2024 and into 2025, we will see a much better landscape. So here, with that said, let's shift into where we see things going from here. So if we look at all the four very influential speaking components within, the economist landscape, mortgage landscape, they expect mortgage interest rates to fall over the next 6 to 12 months, an additional 1 to 1.5%. And really, by the end of the year, we should see and expect to see a much different landscape. And really, it's centered around one, the election concluding, data ultimately pulling through and being more accurate depiction of where things stand. So, where yes, it's uncomfortable at this very moment, it does appear that light is at the end of this tunnel. So, the thing that we need to continue to drive home is the value in this very moment. Yes, mortgage rates have moved higher, yet they're still lower than they were this time last year. If you recall, last October, interest rates broke the 25-year high. 30-year fixed was over 8%. Here we are talking about rates in the sixes. So the opportunity that presents to our clients now is take advantage of the rate options that are available here now. Get into the market before the chaos begins into the start of the new year and into spring. As we saw the clients that made that same decision this last October, they were able to restructure their debt as rates dropped. Same will be true for our clients here now. If you are struggling with communicating this message to your clients, we're here and happy to support you. As always, let's make it a fantastic Friday and an even greater weekend.